All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in once again to Cascadia Hockey Podcast. We are going on week 4 of this great social experiment we're involved with. Not sure what it is, but once again, Discord is how we're rolling these days. We had a fun one this week. A little bit of rambling again, but hey, we all got spare time. You know it. This week's music is brought to you by the Epic Beardmen. The track is called Space Ghetto off of their album Season 1. You can find that at strangefamousrecords.com. And please go to strangefamousrecords.com and show them some love. We want to remind you, please check out our Facebook group, Cascadia Hockey. You can just search that on there, answer a few questions, and you're in. Also, check out buriedpuckthreads.com. We've got some new stuff coming soon. We're working on some changes to our website and all that good jazz. Just taking advantage of all the free time we've been so lovingly given. Anyway, here it is, episode 65. Enjoy.
Mic check, microphone checker, conceptual rhyme record, virtual line stepper. There's no supply for you, the man. Gotta try better, try harder. From Mishawaka to Tribeca, then turn inward. You gotta pray to your mind, Mecca. Never waste energy, I'm a valuable time collector. My agenda was set off in 9-decker when the die was cast. Had to brass, the cast, the director. Write a letter of recommendation to the future generation. Let them know that you're coming. They should stay patient, never rush greatness.
Thank you for tuning in to KBPP, Buried Puck Public Radio. I'm your host, Ignatius Constantine III, and we're here for a refined yet civil discussion about Northwest hockey. Also later today, we'll feature Thelonious Monk played backwards to hear the devil messages in jazz. This is Cascadia.
Wah, 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 wah.
I feel like I'm in a porno.
I don't know what to say anymore.
I feel
don't know
weird.
what to say next.
How am I supposed to top that?
I feel very
We're done, guys.
uncomfortable.
That was the podcast.
We're done.
I did share with you that I wanted to start doing fireside chats, correct? Because that's what that felt like.
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of NPR, so it just kind of I wanted to do something stupid. Welcome to Cascadia Hockey. I am your host with the least. My name is Corey Gaston. With me, as always, is the hockey crew, the ice crew, ready to clean up and make sure that we're ready to skate on some smooth ice for once. Drinking a sip of coffee right now in goal on the Zamboni. Streaming us live on Twitch, one Mr. Kyle Houtz.
Is this on? Hello? Hi.
I thought you just ate that damn thing.
Can you?
Down from him on your screen, the regular guy, number 86, Derek Schoenrock.
Good day, everyone.
What day is it?
I really don't know.
Allergies.
Yeah. Hey, fuck you, dude.
Aw, he's crying. You hurt his little feelings.
The disembodied voice of that arm that you're hearing is one Miss Anya.
Hey, boys.
Hey. Oh.
And behind the mic, the mastermind behind Buried Puck Threads, master misanthrope, hater of all things COVID, Aaron Piper.
Good day, fine people. Corey, I wanted to say that your intro, the best part of that was when you said Northwest, it went all Max Headroom, so it went Northwest.
That's even better, dude.
Yeah, that was great.
It's like NPR from 2045. Let's take just a second. Big shout out to Griff's meaty, disgusting zombie finger.
Did he send a picture?
No.
Ooh, did he?
I don't hope
No,
not. I don't
but
want to see that shit.
He did not, but just the description of it was disgusting.
Yeah. So, but hopefully for recovery from a mortal injury. So we wish Griff the best.
Yeah. Hopefully you got that call from the doctor, buddy.
Yeah.
So here we are.
One one more quick thing. I want to
God,
start
Corey,
the show
you're like
off
taking it all over.
yeah, Anya. I do that from time to time.
Yeah, we have to fill an hour.
We're at 3:45 right now, so keep going, Corey.
You got this.
Happy birthday, Oli Kolzig.
Oh yeah.
Only
Yeah.
50 yesterday.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
That is a golden
I don't
year.
know. I don't know if you guys saw the article that I shared on the Facebook group.
Yep.
But the Capitals did a look back at Oli's career in honor of his 50th birthday, and it was a pretty good article.
Awesome.
Love it. That's funny because all these people celebrating birthdays in quarantine. I hit 40, Derek hit 41, Oli hits 50. I've got so many people that I know that have birthdays in March and everything. So it's been fun, man. Actually, I'm kind of excited that 40 just kind of came and went with no fanfare, to be honest with you. So
A different take on the traditional birthday.
Yeah, and
So-
I had actually asked for a surprise party. I was like, "Hey, babe, why don't you throw me a party this year?" And she was starting to freak
Yeah,
out
get
about
that.
like
He
trying
wanted
to
a surprise party.
Well, I mean, it's,
Invite all our friends over.
hey, can you just invite our friends over and say that it's a surprise party? But
It's for a birthday.
it freaked her the fuck out. It stressed her out. So then when the whole quarantine thing happened, I'm like, well, you're off the hook.
Let's go the other way. I say when this is over, we get together and we throw all of y'all a super hard birthday party
Super
Yes.
bash.
Super bad.
Wait,
with like
I mean,
not super
So
soft.
if there's-
We're going the
yeah,
other
yeah.
direction. We're gonna like a hardcore band.
this I okay, never mind. I was thinking of something else. When you said super hard birthday party.
Were you
Yeah, I
thinking
know
there
you're
should be a fluffer
I'm
involved?
gonna reel it back a little. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Continue.
The fluffers are all
Glad we're
quarantined.
friends, Kyle.
So believe it or not, like I've been live on Twitch for like 8 minutes at this point. I've already got a question.
Whoa. Okay.
A
What's
hockey related question.
Wow.
all right? What's the question?
So Dark Sage says, I'm curious how to have a happy ending for the NHL season. Obviously, I support not playing right now, but is it fair to resume the season well into August or September? I think in fairness, the NHL needs to just cancel the season and start fresh again next season. So we know, like, when it comes to like the WHL and what the CHL has done, they just canceled everything outright.
Yeah.
And that's super shitty. But what do you guys think? Because I know that the NHL is meeting like almost on a daily basis, trying to come up with a solution to this, and all the players have to agree. And there's a lot of things that players agree on that the other players don't agree on. And I know one of the more favorable things, I think Coach DeBoer was kind of against for a valid reason. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but what do you guys think?
So I'll jump on this just right out of the gate because I've had a little more time to think about it since last week. And I'm going to say the same thing, just a little more definite. I think it just needs to be, there's 31 teams, right? Seattle's going to be 32. Okay.
Yeah.
31 team, single elimination tournament, March Madness college basketball style. I don't know how else you do it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a horrible idea, but I mean, single elimination style. Now, I heard a rumor that they were also considering playing some games in some North Dakota rink.
Right.
Yeah.
What did you guys see that? Like, what is like just a no audience kind of thing, or what?
Yep. Neutral.
Well, there's no one in North Dakota, so
Right. Yeah.
Whereas I think if I remember right, UND plays in Grand Forks, so they were looking at there because they have a really, really nice facility there.
And I think there's enough ice in a kind of like what Major League Baseball is talking about doing in Arizona, because there's so many pro level baseball fields because of spring training and stuff within it. So they can literally quarantine all the teams and they can go play games and then go back to their, whatever, and be as safe as possible.
Yep.
I think this area in North Dakota has enough ice where they could keep everybody, housed in empty hotels now anyways, right?
Yeah.
okay. This is
and
this is
possibly
gonna
pull
come
it
out.
off.
this is going to come out like I'm making a joke about that, but I mean, like, baseball at least has like standard social distancing. Everybody is a long ways away from each other.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
especially when you're the Mariners, because you never even get somebody on first base to be next to the first baseman.
The harsh reality of being a Mariners fan.
I'm gonna assume that means they're not good.
Sports ball.
Your assumption is correct.
But with, I mean, hockey is speed contact, man. Like, I just I think. You know, if I guess everybody could be out there in full face mask, you know,
learn to skate around in spacesuits, maybe.
That would be uncomfortable.
Well, no, I mean, just like the plexiglass. But I mean, like, what I'm saying is, I'd prefer, to be honest, and I know this is not probably a popular opinion, but I'd prefer the season be a wash.
You know what? I'm going to lean with Corey on this one. I agree. I just think, because think about it. If you actually go and do live games where there's nobody even in the arena, you still have to put together a team. You still have to put. I mean a team of broadcasting, because you're going to want to broadcast it.
No.
So you're going to have them do it privately.
Those teams are already put together.
I know, but I'm saying you're still bringing a bunch of people together in one area to film it, to broadcast it, to record it, to tweet about it, to do all that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But you can social distance, especially if you have a wide open arena. You can put those people anywhere. The ones that are on their laptops, set them in the stands 6 feet apart from each other. Hell, with only those few amount of people, they'll be 60 feet apart from everybody. I think, because it's still April, and because of this phone call that the president had with all the leagues the other day, saying we're looking at August or September until you can put people back in the stands, you pull the trigger now, and you either say we're going to play with no fans in the building, or we're not going to play. Don't become NHL Seattle and draw this thing out for 8 months saying we might have a name, we might not have a name. Hey, we're going to announce to you that we might have a name announcement at some point.
That is bullshit. I hate when they do that.
But anyway, I'm being facetious here, but here's my take on the whole thing. I say play to empty arenas and experiment with live streaming for the future. Experiment with things that you can try to implement for future to gain revenue from a streaming perspective. We had this conversation last week about how live sports are struggling to really pull people in and keep them interested. So make this, we're all part of a big social experiment anyway. Make this a social experiment in sports. So,
but what about the locker room?
That's a big thing too. Yeah.
I'm talking about, I mean, we're all doing this and everybody's doing their part to stay away from each other. And yeah, it sucks. But, dude, sticking people in, 14, 15 sweaty guys, you know what I mean? And it's not conducively safe to the player's health. And right. I'm sorry to be the naysayer on that, but I'm saying we're all making sacrifices.
Sure.
This sacrifice is one of the ones that needs to be made for the time being. Ride the thing out, start fresh when people can be healthy. And that's, I mean, like, it takes one goalie with a cough to fuck a ton of people over.
So test everybody now and say we'll start in 2 weeks.
Well, that's the thing, is they would all have to stay together. Like they wouldn't be with their families, or you know what I mean? Like,
right.
If you're gonna do that, the coaching staff, the trainers, and the team literally would have to be together all the time for 2 weeks to make sure nobody's sick, and all 31 teams would have to do that. You know what I mean? Like the logistics there are just insanity. I don't know how WWE is doing it right now. They're still broadcasting live, and all these wrestlers are wrestling each other.
So
it's insane.
There's that band that I'm quite familiar with that I never shut up about. Trivium. They just did a music video.
Who?
And Def Leppard.
The drummer from Def Leppard's only got one arm.
That's true. Yes, you have to say that every time you mention them.
And you can't say it with not in that rhythm.
The drummer from Def Leppard's only got one arm. The drummer from Def Leppard's
Shout
only
out
got one
Bloodhound
arm.
Gang.
How does he play then? Like, is he good?
He's got like 27 pedals that he's okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
he is good. He is good. I've heard him do sound checks. That's about the most live action I've gotten from him. But anyway, they just did a music video called "What the Dead Men Say," and in the studio, everybody was wearing like full mop suits, except the two actors that were a part of the video. And there's a picture of the behind the scenes look where like you can see people in the studio moving around, and they're wearing masks and gloves and like damn near like full mop gear.
Just looks like the scene from E.T.
Yeah, seriously. So, I mean, I'm not saying that that's like the solution, but I mean, there's steps that they can take to make a broadcast happen. But yeah you're right.
Is it worth it?
It's still a big team of people. Now, here's the other thing too. Would you also play in your normal arenas, or would like if it was a Knights game, would they play in the practice facility? Would they do that instead? Would they prefer the big ice? Like,
just do it Death by Corona style. Put them all in one huge arena, and they go out in shifts, and they just go fight for the game.
Y'all want your paycheck? You got to go risk your lives for it.
Anya's voted for fucking hockey Hunger Games.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would totally worth everything. I would go watch it.
So another thing that was brought up in my chat here was they're having quite a conversation in here actually.
Nice.
The one thing that is also a big issue is all of the events that got postponed are going to try to reschedule at once. I'm already seeing bands rebooking tours, and setting it for like October and stuff. And they, I cannot imagine how many like concerts and sporting events and public gatherings are going to try to happen all at once to make up for loss of time. Like, we're talking like the NHL is normally right now in the playoff mode.
Yep.
Right now is playoff time, and they're starting. This is where they start to wrap up, and then baseball starts going into full swing. No pun intended. Everything's going to be like merging together now, rather than kind of a little offset than how it normally is.
Yeah.
So how is that going to affect public gathering spaces? Like, do you guys think that when we restart everything and COVID starts to kind of taper off, that it might reemerge once we get back out in the public?
Well, I think that's why they're waiting. I think that's why we're going to wait longer than we need to. You know what I mean? Like they're
let it really die off in the summer.
They're going to really build in that safety factor where they're expecting by June things to be really on the decline, which means by
that's
August.
So long.
I know, but that's why I think they're planning August, September.
Here's the other thing you have to, Derek. Sorry, not to cut you off. You're absolutely right, but the other thing you have to take into account is rescheduling all these events. How many of these events are actually going to be able to make money when everyone's been slowly going bankrupt,
strapped for cash,
slowly going the way of the buffalo?
Yeah, I mean, when you can't go to work, now understand that this will put other people back to work, but they've got to have money to buy tickets to these events. Like, I mean, it's a fucking ecosystem.
Well, I mean,
the economy.
Ticket prices do fluctuate based on how well their sales are doing already and things like that. I imagine they may bring ticket sales down for a little bit just to kind of get people back out and putting money back into the economy and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if it's going to be the normal price, I don't see that happening. No, with people like being out of work and stuff, I don't see many people wanting to pay $200 for a nice.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't think it's a possibility.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's definitely something to think about.
I mean, I'm making good money here, but it's all going to hookers and blow at this point. So
that is inaccurate.
Same.
I mean, day drinking, hookers. By hookers and blow, I mean you, babe.
Oh, okay. That's good. And it's accurate.
So
yeah, he didn't say it was his hookers.
There are definitely parts of the economy that are doing quite well right now.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's valid points. It's definitely valid points. I have a feeling that, once things start to open back up, money is going to start to flow again. Just because a lot of the people that are on unemployment right now and stuff, it's a temporary thing. They know that. But where is it going to go? And we're not an economic show. We're not going to talk about that. I mean, as far as sports go, I'll spend money on sports and all that shit. But how long is it going to take? There's a lot of factors here that we won't know till things pick back up, to be honest with you. So, yeah, anyway.
But the people that manage those factors are already thinking like 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. Like they're definitely thinking about it. So, yep. I mean, I trust that when things kind of start to ramp back up, then, hopefully things will go smoother than we hope.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
I hope.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Anya.
I was just saying, in the meantime, what is actually happening in the hockey world? Because the only thing I've been seeing is with the NWHL, just a lot of signings, re-signings to the teams, and stuff like that, and just bringing them back and all that fun stuff. But like, as far as NHL, all y'all know, I don't really follow it and don't care, except for Gritty. I love Gritty and I love the Flyers. So what's happening? And are you sick of replays yet of old games?
Nope.
I haven't watched any of them.
That's awesome. Today we watched the Stanley Cup, didn't we?
So this morning I got up and I was drinking my coffee and on my iPad, and they were re-airing Game 7 of the 2004 Stanley Cup Finals between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Calgary Flames. And after I got done throwing up in my mouth a bit, because that was one of the hardest years as a Flyers fan, it was kind of cool to watch it again. Dave Anderchuk raised the cup for the first and only time in his 22-year career. Marty St. Louis was just him and LeCavalier were budding stars at that point. I forgot how good Nikolai Habibulin it was.
I know.
He was incredible.
Habibulin!
He won that fucking series.
Wall.
He won that series. And on the flip side of that, it was sad to see Jerome McGinley and be reminded how close he came but never got it.
Yeah.
And just a class act stud. And then right after that, they aired the 2006 finals, which were Edmonton and Carolina, which reminded me that it was kind of crazy that Tampa Bay won it pre-lockout, and then Carolina won it post-lockout, and how the hockey people were just in an uproar about, the Sun Belt states winning the Stanley Cup. So it was kind of a fun reminder there.
Yeah. That was definitely interesting. I remember when Anaheim won.
Yep.
And a guy that I was in the army with was like, a team that is owned by fucking Disney has the Stanley Cup right now. What the fuck? Like, he was so pissed.
It's called being progressive.
Yeah. Like,
did you guys happen to? I don't know if any of you guys watch it, but there's a TV show I happen to be a really big fan of called Superstore.
I've seen it before. I haven't seen it for a while, but I've seen it before.
So the Cup made a cameo on this last week's episode.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Grail.
Yeah, it was sitting in the middle of one of the aisles, and the guy, I can't think of his name, the dude with the gloves, was like looking at cleaning products.
Oh, Phil Pritchard or whatever his name is?
Yeah, yes. And he was like looking at like polish, and then he grabbed a couple of them, put them in the cup, and picked the cup up and walked off.
That's awesome.
Okay, well, while we're talking about the cup, I want to know okay, first of all, I'm sure we've talked about this several times, but have you guys seen it in person? And second of all, did you touch it? And if you haven't seen the cup, would you touch it?
I'll go first. I have not seen it in person. I have not touched it. And if I did see it in person, yes, I would touch it.
I would lick it.
I would grope the fuck out of it.
Yep. I am not a professional hockey player. I've never pretended to be a professional hockey player. I do believe as a professional hockey player, you know the sanctity of that cup, and you know you don't touch it unless you win it. But the fact is, I will never win it. I will never be in an organization. I mean, I guess unless something were to happen, I would like be a media guy or whatever, and they would, give me a ring as being part of the team. But what I'm saying is, that's never going to happen. So yes, I would definitely touch it. I would piss in it if I could.
I'd lick it.
You know what happened the last time somebody pissed in it?
What's that? COVID?
They didn't win the Stanley Cup until 1994.
Who on the Rangers pissed in it?
That was back when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup. They were in a building that was just awful, and they hated it. The management was terrible. Like they hated it. And after that season, they were supposed to start a new building. They won the Stanley Cup, and they took the lease from the old building.
Oh God!
Burned it in the cup, and then pissed on the ashes. And then they did it in the cup for like what 70 years or something.
Oh
that
my
is fantastic.
God.
Yeah.
So I have seen the cup twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a firm believer in superstition.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I am. And I know that you don't touch it unless you've won it, unless you want your career to be over.
Yeah. So,
and as I am not a professional hockey player, I touched it both times.
Yeah.
so I have seen it twice, and I did not touch it.
You saw it in Norfolk, didn't you?
I saw it in Norfolk, and then I saw it in Seattle. Or,
Nice.
well, Kent. I saw it in the ShoWare arena.
Corey, isn't there a picture floating around of John with the cup overseas? Did I imagine that?
No, that's the thing.
I think somebody took the cup to Iraq.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And there's a picture of my cousin. Is he holding it? I don't know if he's like holding it with somebody else or he's just next to it.
He's just next to it.
Yeah. So and I know he touched it. He would have probably made sweet love to it.
It's funny. My mom actually took me and my daughter Lily, whose birthday it is today. She's 21.
Happy birthday, Lily!
Happy birthday, Lils.
Be glad you're not pregnant.
Yeah.
Says her dad. Yeah, you're right.
No, she took us, and it was really funny because my mom had no frame of fucking reference whatsoever.
She had no idea what was going on.
She just knew what it was. She was like, oh, this is a big hockey thing, and Corey likes hockey, so I'll take him. And so we went, and I've got a picture of me and Lily and my mom standing next to the cup, and I reached over and rubbed the Metropolitans.
I thought you were gonna say I reached over and rubbed one out.
No, the name plaque of the Metros.
Nice. Oh, you did it with like the paper thing, the rub on it?
No, I just ran my thumb across it.
Oh, okay. Not quite as cool, but yeah, that's cool.
No, I just wanted to, that was my.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so.
Did you happen to stop and look at 1919 that just says series ended in a tie?
I did see that, yes.
I think that's pretty cool. That 100 years later, here we are again.
I have a question, Derek. Your Twitter handle, does it have to do with the dude abides?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
I just got that in my brain.
That's exactly what it has to do with.
Okay, sorry. I'm sitting here getting ready to tag you guys in a twit, and I'm like, hey, is that what that's for? And then it made sense when you wore the sweater, and it all made sense now. Okay, you can move on now.
She is so cute. I don't even know where to go now.
Yeah, that's so funny.
We could spend the next 45 minutes on the Big Lebowski. I'm fine with that.
We totally could.
You know what? We should watch that because we like to do Chicken Wing Friday night because, of the hell of the world we're in. So
we do that anyway.
We do that anyways. But anyway, so it's just fun to say. That's what we do to pass the time, but we do it anyway.
Friday nights, chicken wings, and a big fat stogie, and a whiskey. So.
Or like 5 of them, if I have my way.
We still have not played NHL 19.
No shit, man. Because every time I get to the weekend, I have really big plans to do it, and then I just start day drinking, and I'm like, fuck the world.
I'll take responsibility for that.
Yeah, that's all his fault.
It feels like it was just 2 days ago we did this last. That is what my days feel like right now. It's just like I hardly know. I only know like what day of the week it is because my buddy Matt streams Monday to Friday, so I know that it's either Monday Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then I know it's Tuesday today because we normally do this on Tuesday. That's my only frame of reference for the day of the week.
So when I text you on Monday nights and I say, hey, are you good for tomorrow? Kyle goes, oh, it's Monday.
You could text me on Thursday and be like, you good for tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll be there. It's Tuesday tomorrow. I wouldn't even know. Wouldn't even know.
That's awesome.
I upheld my end of the bargain in that I Facebook lived me and Jackson playing some bubble hockey.
Yes.
Wasn't it sideways though? Like you messed up.
Yeah, which is retarded. Apparently, Facebook Live only lets you go vertical.
I was gonna say he didn't mess it up. That's all you can do on Facebook Live.
Yeah, I didn't know that, so I'll fix that for next time. But we played 2 games. Jackson actually beat me both times, but
attaboy.
Which rarely happens. But I want to say it's because I was commentating as well, so
Allergies.
my focus wasn't there, and my hay fever. Yeah.
No focus, but a lot of hay fever. Derek, did you answer the question about the cup? I forget.
Oh no, I said I would touch the shit out of it. I've never seen it live. Okay. I've only seen one major sports championship trophy, the Major League Baseball championship trophy that the Arizona Diamondbacks won.
Nice.
In 2000 or 2000.
That was a long time ago. Yeah, I remember that.
I was in Arizona for work for a couple weeks. The playoffs started. I walked to the baseball stadium from my hotel the day of a playoff game, the year after they won a world championship, and I bought a ticket at the window. That's how much Arizona supports their sports.
That's awesome.
No, that's
and
not.
I watched a Diamondbacks playoff game at the stadium there, and they had it behind glass and all that kind of stuff. So that's the only major sports championship I've seen.
Was that the year that Randy Johnson killed that bird?
I don't know if that. Yeah, I think he was on the Mariners when that happened.
Yeah.
No, it was
Arizona.
He was in Arizona. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it wasn't that year.
So
I know
funny.
He didn't win the championship with them, correct?
Yeah, he did.
He did? Okay.
And Schilling. They beat the Yankees, remember?
Okay, yeah. That was a long time. That's back when their logo had purple in it.
Yep.
That's the only thing I really remember about most baseball.
Randy Johnson killing a bird.
Randy Johnson killing the bird. I remember when George Brett was a thing.
Yep.
And I remember
when Pedro Serrano wanted to sacrifice a live chicken. You remember that, right?
Well, of course.
You remember the Bash Brothers? Right? You've talked about that one quite a bit.
Major League reference. Sorry.
No, I got you.
Yeah, there you go. Corey's on it.
I remember McGuire Gate.
Yep.
That was a thing.
Yeah. When Todd McFarlane wasted $3 million.
What, creating the Mark McGuire figurine? Is that what you're talking about, or?
Yeah.
No, he bought the ball.
He bought the ball.
Oh, wow. $3 million. Okay. Anyway, we're becoming a baseball podcast, and there's plenty of those out there.
Back to hockey, though, Corey. I think you and I can answer this one. How long will? Well, he spelled Detroit.
Oh no, he spelled it correct. Then he got the spelling right.
Here's the thing. I know there's shit right now, but if you guys want to, you can say "fuck you, Logan."
No,
Logan.
Good job, Logan. There's shit on the outside of the toilet there in Detroit.
Logan's an Avalanche fan, but we won't hold it against him.
Oh.
He says, "How long will Detroit be in the rebuild phase?"
Forever.
4 to 12 years.
I'll tell you this.
There's an end in that?
There's in any for a serious answer, Logan. In any sport today, they're set up with the cap, with all the caps and all the parity in the leagues. It's very possible for an NHL franchise to turn things around within 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To go from worst to first. It takes.
That's exactly what I was saying.
There was an NHL franchise that did it last year in 3 months. So.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so, if the string that they've had of, I won't say bad luck, but those things to me start coming down to management and ownership, and until they get together and get the right pieces in place, I think Detroit's going to keep shitting on the outside of the toilet.
What do you do with that? Do you just get rid of everybody?
Well, I think Yzerman is kind of on the right track right now. He is kind of like Ken Holland before he left. He had kind of like leveled the team.
Yeah.
And then Yzerman came in and he tore out the foundation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my thing. As a
they could be next season. They could be leading the league. I mean, you know what I mean. It could be that fast.
As a non-Detroit fan on the outside looking in, here's my take. What happened last year in Carolina with them going all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals had a lot to do with Rod Brindamore and his understanding of the culture in Carolina as the head coach. And he had those boys playing well above where they should have been playing. He got every ounce of talent out of them, put it together in a team, and they made an incredible run. Steve Yzerman understands culture in Detroit. And because he's now back, I'm not saying Ken Holland was a terrible GM, but Ken Holland's time had passed. Now you've got a guy in there, the captain of this team. He will be just fine. It's going to be sooner rather than later when it comes to Detroit making that rebound.
The thing with general managers is they're like a stick of that zebra gum. Eventually their flavor runs out.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah.
That can happen to coach. That can happen to coaches too.
Yep, absolutely.
Same type of thing. I would say,
Corey, I'm sorry.
There isn't a good track record, and hopefully Yzerman breaks the mold. There isn't a good track record for favorite sons of the city to come back and bring it back. NBA has tried it. There's been people in Major League Baseball that have tried it. So hopefully he breaks the mold and he knows what needs to be done. I would say GMs are more important in hockey than the head coaches. That would be my hot take, I guess.
Have you seen what's happened the last several years in Tampa Bay with their success? I mean, and I'm not being like rude or facetious. Yzerman was a big part of that, so it's like he knows what he's doing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Now, the only thing that I can say to your point that I agree with is Ron Hextall came back to Philly to try to turn it around, and he didn't. He sucked. So anyway, Corey, the floor is yours.
Yeah, he's about to bubble over.
No, it's fine. So my initial reaction to that question was 2 years. I think the talent is there. I think you've got people, especially I think Larkin is going to take a bigger role. I see, Razzy's there. That kid's got the chops, man.
He's just got to stay healthy.
Yeah. I think overall, I think it's 2 years out. And to quote the shittiest rapper of all time, one Mr. Bob Ritchie, I'm in it to win it like Yzerman. And I think Yzerman gives a fuck about that team, about that city, more than say, some of the other people. I think it matters to him to make, not that it doesn't matter to other GMs, but I think it matters to him to make that team what they were again.
Well, let's also not forget the fact that Yzerman was there in the late 80s, early 90s when that team was garbage, a dumpster fire for a decade. And he saw it go from that to greatest. So he's seen the process before.
Yep. And those guys, I think it kills Detroit not to be putting pennants up.
Yeah.
Not to raise them into the rafters. And that's, I think that's a thing, man. And I really genuinely believe that Detroit is still a ways out, but they'll return. They'll be a force to be reckoned with in 2 years.
Absolutely. We'll see them back in the playoffs before long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, as long as we have hockey.
So sorry, Logan, to rain on your parade. Yes, there's going to be Detroit back in the playoffs. Probably sooner rather than later.
He wrote, Yzerman is a genius. Fuck, that hurt my soul saying that.
Hey, that hurts a lot of people's soul to say that.
Logan.
What president? Go ahead, Corey.
No, I was just, I appreciate him saying that, because if it was if the shoe was on the Patrick Wallfoot, I couldn't have been able to say it.
But Joe Sakic, I do like Sakic.
Yeah.
I think
Sakic was a beast. I'll give it that.
I loved him.
Sakic's
Yeah.
a beast
Hated him,
wherever
but I
he was
loved
at. Did you say the president? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Derek?
well, I was gonna say because I hated Detroit so much back in the day. The only thing I remember Steve Yzerman for, I mean, I know he was one of the all-time great players, but when they went and got their visit to the White House, what president was it that butchered his name?
I think
Do
it was
you guys
Clinton.
remember that?
Yeah,
was
I'm
it
pretty
Clinton?
sure it was Clinton because
I think it was
Clinton
Clinton.
came
It
in
was Clinton.
from 92 to 2000. Clinton was president, so it had to be Clinton.
I think he said something like Iserman or something.
Zierman, yeah.
I'd like to welcome
Stevie Zierman.
I'd like to welcome Stevie Zierman from. He's got to be somewhere in Russia or something. I don't know.
So to this day, whenever I hear Yzerman's name, that's what I remember.
That's
Well,
funny.
dude, so that made me think. I was at the grocery store with Katie the other day, and I was walking past, and I'm an idiot, so I just walk around talking in weird voices. And we were in the chip aisle, and I was reading everything with a weird, like, Italian accent. And I saw a bag of Bugles, and I was like, Bugale. And the fucking guy behind me started laughing his ass off and thought that I couldn't speak English.
How
You should have just rolled with it, man.
how you say bugle?
Bugale.
All right, so we've talked a lot of NHL. I want to shift here. Anya just handed me. This is hot off the presses, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's not 69%.
It's not
of votes or
69%.
gritty.
Which that.
Dang.
By the way, this is episode 64, I believe. So we're getting closer. Anya, just so you boys know.
No, last week was 64. This is 65.
All right, so we're at 65. We just hit AARP status, and
Yeah.
We're on episode 69. What are we going to do in episode 69?
I got it.
she's already
I
got,
got it
dude.
covered.
It's gonna be fun. Trust me, it's gonna be fun. Anyway,
Do I have to wear pants?
I don't care.
probably not.
It's Anya's epi, and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Okay. Anyway, let me get this out real quick. The WHL just came out with their Western Conference first All-Star team. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 of the 6 players are in the U.S. division, so that plays in the fact that we talk about the U.S. division
Yeah.
is very, very strong. So here it is, goaltender, and I'll read them out, and then we'll say whether we agree or disagree, or whether we're like, who the fuck is that? Goaltender, Dustin Wolf, Everett Silvertips.
Called it.
Yeah.
No shit. Defenseman, Johnny Ludwig from Portland. Defenseman, Ty Smith from Spokane.
Agreed.
Forward, Adam Beckman from Spokane.
Agreed.
Forward, Seth Jarvis from Portland.
Agreed.
Forward, Connor Zary from Kamloops.
Don't know who he is.
Wow. I thought there would be more Everett people on that list.
Yeah. Do you need more after Dustin Wolf?
No.
Do what now?
Do you need more players after Dustin Wolf?
Probably not. I mean, you could just throw whoever out there on the ice at that point.
Throw traffic cones, they still wouldn't be able to put it past them.
Yeah. I agree with that list. I think Spokane. I know we talked about a lot of Everett and Portland as the season wore on, but man, Spokane really took off. Adam Beckman won the scoring title in a mildly shortened season. That Seth Jarvis kid, holy shit, he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I
dude.
remember him. He was nuts.
He'll be a first or second rounder for sure. Connor Zary, because we only got to see Kamloops here twice in fact, it was the last weekend of hockey before everything shut down. Kamloops was in town, which I got to go to one of those games. Derek, I think I gave you tickets to the second night.
Yep, I did. It was a 4:00 game on a Sunday, and we had a blast.
Yep, that's when Anya and I were up
there.
at the Oh yeah, you were working there. That's right. Anya and I were at the Seattle Everett game. Okay, so we have some more to talk about here in a second.
It's the Eastern. I don't know if you care about that.
I don't really care about the Eastern, but
never
we'll,
mind.
We'll mention it. But anyway, I was down at the Zamboni entrance one of those periods and watching players like Connor Zary, even Anabiuchi. You guys probably don't know that name, but Montana Anabiuchi was a 20-year-old, and he's a tough guy that's been around the league. Well, the first time I was ever exposed to him, he was a 16 or 17-year-old and decided to pick a fight with Dalton York one night. and Yorkie just beat. I've got it on video, but Yorkie beat the shit out of him, dude.
You know, he's a pretty looking boy too. Like most hockey players are like ugly.
Who, Yorkie?
Yeah, he's
Yorkie's a pretty boy for sure.
And maybe he can throw down.
Yeah, I noticed that all the time too, whether hockey players are pretty or not.
Do you really?
Put your pants on, guys.
Don't lie.
No, but Hank Lundqvist, yes, that is a pretty.
He is so
man.
pretty, and so is Forsberg.
Oh.
His eyes. Whoo.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back to my story. Kyle, a couple of your cohorts that you used to work with on the ice crew when we were down there, I heard them go, "There's no way that kid's 20. He's got a beard bigger than yours, man." You're looking at me talking about. They're 20. I don't remember his name. Zane Franklin, I think, was his name. He was the captain. A 20-year-old had a beautiful playoff beard, like when he was 4. So. But anyway, Cam Loops that was one of my biggest disappointments this year was not to be able to see, any more of Cam Loops.
Now, why didn't we see them? Is it
they played, we only see them twice in the building, and they played both games a weekend. The last
back
weekend.
to back.
What a bummer.
So anyway, that was a night though.
Bummed.
So I'll just tell you right now, beards are no indication of age. I learned that in 7th grade. And Corey knows this story. I don't know. I don't think I've told it on this podcast before. Corey went to a little town across the river from my little town. So our schools played each other in sports. And in 7th grade, there was a player on Corey's school's football team that had a full beard as a 7th grader.
Wow.
And we all wanted to see birth certificates because there was no way that he was like whatever age you are in 7th grade. So
12.
Beards.
Rodney Worthington.
God
damn it,
son
Rodney.
of a bitch. I swear he was fucking 20 years old playing 7th grade football.
It was Finley, right?
So,
Yeah.
So it probably was a 20-year-old playing 7th grade football.
Probably.
no,
Something in the water out there.
So I grew up with Rodney. He lived about a mile and a half from my house, and I remember once, probably around, he did have a full beard in 7th grade, but it was like probably around 9th grade, freshman year. I was walking somewhere, and I walked past him mowing his front yard in the middle of summer, wearing a black sweater. And I thought that was really fucking weird until I saw the gleam of silver reflecting from the center of his chest, or the sides of his chest, because he also had his nipples pierced. And I realized he wasn't wearing a shirt. Rodney,
And then
was
you
the
went home and you
hairiest
got
man
your
I've ever-
shears and tried to shear him.
It wasn't a sweater.
I honestly, so the funny thing is he played roller hockey with us.
Oh, wow.
And he was pretty good. Rodney was a very interesting dude. Ended up winning the lottery, actually.
Interesting.
But
Clearly with his genetics.
I always kind of just wanted to see if he would turn into one of those woolly Scottish cows. Like, I just wondered if it would keep going.
That's awesome.
The man is full of surprises.
I don't know if we
Well,
mentioned it on the podcast though, but a couple weeks ago, the U.S. prospects draft took place with the WHL, and there was actually a kid from Burbank. That was
pretty
taken in
cool.
that draft.
Yeah, which is pretty wild. Shout out to my buddy, whose name escapes me right now.
Good friend.
We're great friends. Kevin Alley. Sorry, Kevin.
We're the best
Oh
of
yeah,
friends.
Kevin's the one that posted about that.
Yeah. Kevin posted about it. He's a teacher out in Burbank, and so that's pretty exciting. I had no idea we had.
Yeah.
Although he was playing
Coeur d'Alene.
hockey in I was gonna say Lewiston or Coeur d'Alene or something.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's just nothing here.
That's
for
just,
these
but that's
people.
part of the thing that lights a fire under me is, man, there's talents here, dude. If we
Yeah.
could get programs set up to really help these kids grow, I mean,
that's the thing. They ship them all out. I know several kids that were Jackson's age that are up in Wenatchee right now.
yep.
Yeah.
Going through that program. One of them was going to like Colorado or something. Like
Wow.
his dad moved to Colorado. The mom and sister stayed here, and the dad and the kid went down to Colorado to get into that, situation because they feel he's good enough maybe
Yeah.
to go to the next level. So just interesting, man. Hockey just about the only sport that I know, aside of like Olympians, you know, like at 6, if you're going to be a gymnast with Olympic aspirations, they ship you to, you know, some labor camp somewhere, and you don't see your family for 40 years while you go through, you know.
Live the life, kids. Live the life.
Yeah, hockey's interesting, man. You know, there's those schools up in Canada. They're essentially they're boarding schools or private schools, where it's just hockey, man.
But it's expensive if they do that.
No, it's ridiculous.
I cannot believe it's like actually you have to get a full-time job just to send your kid off to it. And crazy.
No, it's basically college. It's like college tuition. I mean, it's that expensive.
There's a school up there that if you watch the Bantam draft a lot, it's called POE. I think it's called Price of Excellence is literally what this hockey school is called. It costs upwards of $60,000 a year for your kid to go play there.
Good Lord.
Man.
Yeah. So
you know, is that actually to the root of hockey's for it can vary, and the what it takes to get into competitive hockey, it makes it difficult because it is not super price conducive, man. It's expensive, and that's what I think keeps it out of reach for some people.
Absolutely.
And that sucks. I mean, not that, you know, there's not things out there for people to get into it, but I mean, like, what I'm saying is like, we're always talking about wanting, you know, street hockey, roller hockey, get people interested in the game. But, you know, and this is a question I actually really wanted to pose to Kwame when he was on, is, you know, this isn't an inner city sport. It's difficult to get this into the hands of kids that are not in those areas where it's a thing.
So, and because I've heard his stories and because I've heard stories from like Wayne Simmons and PK and stuff like that, you're right in the fact that ice hockey is not inner city. But from what I understand and what I've gathered is that in places like Toronto and all that, street hockey very much exists with a cheap torn up net, a stick, and a ball, you know? So the love of the game grows early, but actually getting on the ice in competitive ways, it's there's a lot of roadblocks there.
So how much talent is being lost?
But I mean, like, that's exactly my point, as Anya was saying, is we have so many people out there that aren't given any opportunity to actually play the competitive form of this game. You know what I mean? Like, there's no professional street hockey. Like, that's not something
Californians would disagree.
Yeah, but they also play ultimate frisbee, so fuck them.
And we just lost 3 of our listeners.
It's 0 in my stream now. I'm kidding.
But no, what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, that's the hurdle we're jumping. I mean, both while you were kind of checked out there for a second, Derek and Kyle both have experience with how economically it's difficult to afford your kids that opportunity.
Well, absolutely. I do have a little bit of different, I have a slightly, I agree with that, but I have a slightly different take on it in that I had a kid that went through the youth hockey program here in Tri-Cities, and I will say that they have programs for assistance. If you can't pay the full amount, they do have some programs, some I don't know if they call them scholarships or whatever they call them, but they do have the community here gets together a couple of times a year where they basically just trade the used hockey gear. You know, some people sell it, but they don't sell it for a lot. It's really just to get good quality used gear into the hands of people that can't pay full price for it. So there are avenues. While it's not, you know, like you said, get a a boat paddle and a tennis ball, and we can go out in the street and pretend like we're playing hockey. There are some opportunities to find it, and then I think the talent takes over. So if you are talented and you excel and rise through those ranks, there will be people out there that will get you where you need to go through donations or grants or whatever. But yeah, it's just not overall. It's not as widely spread, especially in our area, as basketball, soccer, baseball, whatever. Yeah. So it's not like, to me, there aren't enough parents saying, "Hey, let's try hockey."
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The kids might not think of it on their own. If the parents aren't hockey people, they're not watching hockey on TV. The kid's not really saying, "Hey, I want to play hockey." You know what I mean? So, yes, it's not as accessible. Yes, it's expensive. But there's ways to do it if you really want to do it. But I think you got to have the want.
There's like stuff like Play Hockey for Free Day, which happens every year. I don't know what day it is, but like that's huge. And I remember when I was coming up and playing hockey in high school, most of my equipment was hand-me-down. Yeah. Like, it was like, all right, this guy, he's done using this gear. He's buying a new set. Do you want it, like his elbow pads, kind of thing. I have a full set.
My first set of goalie pads were left-handed because they were given to me.
That's just what you get, yeah. No. The reason I catch with my left playing goalie is because that was the gear that was available. If I had the option, I would have been the other way because that's just when I am playing skater. When I'm skating out, I just shoot right-handed. But when I'm a goalie, I catch with my left. Also because I'm left-handed, and my left's a little more coordinated, so that worked out okay. But putting power behind the stick to clear the puck is a little more difficult for me because I have to switch. But I've taken the time to kind of learn it and try to work on puck handling. So, but yeah, it was just that was what we had was a set of goalie gear in a little locker stuffed away in the Elko Hockey Association storage locker, and that was just kind of how goalie happened for me, and that's why I play the way I do. So
I'm not gonna lie, every time I hear the word Elko, I feel like I'm probably gonna start watching a episode of Fargo at some point. Elko is gonna be where the assassin shows up from.
Very, very likely. Elko's known for the occasional shocking random horror story.
It's funny because I actually picture a Duck Dynasty style company that makes elk calls.
Well, actually, Elko is actually named after the animal. They just put an O at the end of it to make it kind of sound more like a town name.
As opposed to
you can't just live in Elk. Where are you from? Yeah, Elk.
It's that doesn't help. I don't want to go to an animal. I don't want to know what you were raised by, wild elk as a kid. Yeah. But while I'm on it, big shout out to old Elko Hockey Association. They're trying like hell to get an ice rink to that place, and I'm sure they'll see it soon.
Let's go Elko Elks.
Woo!
I'd actually rock the fuck out of an elk jersey. I really would.
So that was the thing too, is I wanted to take some of my quarantine time and use some of this reserved creativity and just design random hockey jerseys. I would totally be down to make an elk jersey.
That would be rad.
So I'll wear it if you make it, dude.
Are they really the Elko Elks?
No, God, no.
Oh, okay. I mean, that would be amazing. I think that would be fantastic.
As far as I remember, the one of the youth teams is called the Blades. But other than that, it's usually just Elko. When I was in high school, it was just Elko. We didn't have
You didn't have a mascot?
Nope. No, but we wore the Atlanta Thrashers dark jerseys back then. It was the one where if you hold the sleeve out, it looks like a wing, kind of,
Yeah, they were all goalie cut.
Just about, yeah. Holy shit,
I remember that. I think I still have a Flyers jersey. That was about that.
That was the time. That was the time when baggy jerseys were kind of the style.
Yeah, everybody wanted to have their wings flapping as they were going down the ice.
Yep, pretty much. So
I wish honestly they'd go back to wool sweaters personally.
Yeah.
Oh God. Have you skated with that?
I would say, wouldn't that be like hot and gross? And...
No, these Adidas jerseys, they're so nice. Like it just airflows so nicely in them. I really like the Adidas ones.
Yes.
I'm just picturing Derek's vision of it as just like the old like Stanford Harvard 1910 game
with the big shoestrings right up front to tie it up.
It was an actual sweater. That's why people call hockey jerseys sweaters.
Yeah, they were legit.
Nowadays you'd be skating down the ice like this the whole time, just scratching away. Well, fellas, we're getting close here, man. What have you guys been listening or reading or watching anything interesting lately or what?
Drinking.
Been a lot of day drinking, but around that has been a lot of Animal Crossing for some reason. I actually
wait, what?
God.
Animal Crossing. I've been playing the shit out of it.
It's a game.
No. I thought you were actually participating in the act of watching Animal Crossing.
Kyle actually lives on a wildlife preserve.
No. Yeah. We do have the Roadrunners back. I am excited because I look out and I'm like, oh, cool, a little Roadrunner. Yeah, they're super fun. They're like little pudgy little birds, and then they have like little mohawks. But
they don't look like real Roadrunner, right?
They are real Roadrunners.
They are real Roadrunners. Yes.
They don't look like the cartoon version.
No, they're not purple. And they don't look like an ostrich. They're not anything like the cartoon.
Duly noted. I'd never seen a real one before.
I'll send you pictures because I have plenty.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
But I've also been watching Tiger King. I started that finally.
Yeah,
joined
baby.
that train. I've been watching a Korean zombie movie called Kingdom. I highly recommend it. It's actually really cool. Corey, you would like it.
I'm in.
Yeah. It's
okay. Question about Tiger King. Is it just recently come out? Because I am seeing a ton of shit about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or is it just because Facebook is listening to my conversations?
Both.
Okay.
It's both.
Yeah, both.
No, it's been out for 2 weeks. It's the hottest thing in the nation right now.
It really is, yeah. And then I've been playing a little Overwatch, a little Final Fantasy 14. That's been really my life lately.
I have been playing a lot of GTA 5 lately because anytime I go out in public, that is the persona I want to be. And since I can't do that in real life, I play it on video game a lot now.
You gotta do it in there.
Yes. So
yeah,
I tell him to go. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I finally caved and let my 12-year-old 12. I don't know how old he is.
That was a lot of effort.
He was 12 or 13, one of the two. I let him play Red Dead Redemption 2, finally. I'd been holding off because there's some inappropriateness in that game, but he's so fucking bored and he's out of things to do. And I was like, just have at it.
Here you go, boy. Now's the time to become a man. Here you go.
That's right.
I love Red Dead Redemption. Like that is like one of my top 5 games ever.
Oh, me too. Absolutely.
It is a masterpiece of a game.
I have the zombie one.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, the zombie patch was fun. That was fun. Yeah.
I didn't fuck with it.
It was still fun. Like that same the huge world that you could go everywhere on. It was crazy, man. So,
but yeah, the last one that came out, RDR2 was. I mean, it's GTA in the Old West. That's basically
it's Rockstar makes it, right?
Yeah, it's a Rockstar. Yeah. It's a fascinating game.
I've put hundreds of hours into that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
I discovered a show last night that I'd been meaning to watch for a while that I highly recommend on HBO called Avenue 5.
I've heard of it.
It is absolutely the perfect time to watch this show. It's about a cruise ship in space.
Oh.
Of course.
So the Enterprise.
Well, but it actually has like cruise ship passengers on it.
Okay.
Like it's an actual cruise ship. And
so it's Wall-E. It's Wall-E in real life.
Oh.
Well, sort of, yeah. And then something happens with the gravity on the ship. It gets fucked up and everyone falls to one side of the ship.
Oh shit.
And it knocked them off course. And so this is supposed to be an 8-week cruise turns into it's going to be 3 years before
an 8-week
Gilligan's fucking Island.
8-week tour.
Fucking Gilligan's Island in space.
Yes,
that's awesome.
And here's the best part about it is you you come to find out very quickly that the captain of the ship, who's played by Hugh Laurie,
nice,
is not a certified captain at all. He's a fucking actor.
Do they have a real captain?
No. He was there to give the appearance of a captain, while the engineers of the ship were the ones who were actually doing everything.
Wow.
And the head engineer dies in the first 5 minutes of that first episode.
So here's the biggest question I have. Does Hugh Laurie, does he speak in his native tongue, or does he do an American accent in this movie?
So that's actually something they play with, and I absolutely loved it. He is doing an American accent.
Okay.
Until you discover that he's an actor.
Oh.
And then he speaks as normal. And it's a tremendous show. Zach Woods, who played Jared on Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Is the head of customer service on the ship, and he's a nihilist.
We believe in nothing.
And it's the fucking funniest shit, because like somewhere at some point he's just cracking up because everything's going to shit. And they're like, "Why are you laughing?" He's like, "I'm a nihilist." And this chick goes, "No, you're not." And he goes, "Whatever."
That's awesome.
It's a brilliant show. Josh Gad, who's the voice of Olaf in Frozen.
He was also in that the Little Monsters or whatever.
Yeah, he plays the owner of the company that owns the cruise ship, and he's just absolutely brilliant on it. He's fucking wacky, and it's super fun. It's a really, really funny show. I highly recommend it because everything goes to shit, and people react the way people react in quarantine.
You know, the lines between reality and fantasy have become very, very skewed lately.
Yeah. So I highly recommend checking out Avenue 5 on HBO.
Avenue 5, that's the name of it. All right.
I do want to mention before we go, because we're over again, but who cares? NHL has done a really good thing, and even the WHL, they're showing old classic games and stuff like that. I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to watch old games, I want to watch new stuff. And sure, we all want to see new stuff, but take some time, sit down and watch these things, man. It brings back some really cool memories. Like I was just saying this morning, watching, some of these players early in their careers, late in their careers, and you remember things, and it's kind of nostalgic. So it's fun. I think everything is free now. I know NHL.tv, you can go on and watch every archived thing they have. And it's not just the games. It's also like the Road to the Winter Classic series. A lot of these teams do their own behind the scenes things, and those are available as well. So plenty of content out there right now. So I do have to say, I think Friday night we're going to have chicken wings, a cigar, whiskey, and we're going to watch The Big Lebowski in my house.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've seen parts of it.
Yep.
I'm going to go back, and I think it's time for a viewing of Mystery Alaska.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
love it.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that movie.
Saw that Super Bowl Sunday about a year ago. That's usually on my Super Bowl list.
Yeah,
okay.
Mystery Alaska and The Goon are typically, or Miracle, depending on.
Solid.
I watched Goon, I think, 2 nights ago. I watched it.
I still need to watch the second one. I have it on my list. I have no reason why I haven't watched it.
It's on Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah, it's in my list. I just haven't pushed play yet, and I don't know why.
Anya and I watched it a couple weeks ago. I will say the first one was better for sure, but the second one had some really funny qualities to it.
It does. There are some really good moments, and there's some characters that you will recognize.
Yes.
Dope. Is Jonathan Cherry in it again?
Which one?
The goalie from the first one?
Yes.
Okay. My love of him in Wolf Cop.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Real quick, we do homework on Garagerama, which, once again, if you guys haven't checked out Garagerama, you got plenty of time, so just look up Garagerama everywhere podcasts are sold. We do homework. I want to say if we can try on Cascadia this week to all of us watch National Lampoon's Pucked.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know about it. I will say that it's John Bon Jovi.
I'm in.
And he is trying to own a
Corey.
minor league hockey team.
It's all the same.
What?
Corey's like, cool. Then he's like, fuck.
You had me at National Lampoons.
Just keep it there.
You lost me at John Bon Jovi.
No, just try it. If we can find it. I haven't tried to track it down. I've seen it, like previews and stuff for it, but I haven't tried to track it down yet. But let's try to watch it and give our take on that one for next week. Also, how'd the stream go today, Kyle? Were we good with the live stream?
Yeah. Everybody in here's they're just kind of chilling and laughing at shit we say. So I think that's good.
Yeah, I think it's good. So next week we're going to do a show and tell.
Yeah. This today was between like 4 and 10 viewers. So
okay.
In and out. So yeah, it's been cool and people have been chatting. So
we'll get our social media person on that for next week just to push it. It was an experiment today. So
yeah, today was just kind of a test run. So I'm gonna look back on it and just kind of see how the levels are.
Cool.
Nobody said anything about whether I'm louder or you guys are louder, so I guess that's good.
Nice.
But yeah, so it looks fine to me.
Show and tell next week.
Sure. Yep.
Do you guys want to hear a quick synopsis as written by IMDb on Pucked?
Oh, please, yes.
Yes, I do actually.
Yes.
A failed lawyer uses credit cards to finance a women's ice hockey league. That's all it says. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in.
You're welcome, boys. You're welcome.
Oh my.
All right, so that.
Do you know if it's on anything?
I don't. I haven't looked.
I don't even know how to spell it, and my brain hurts because I don't get the luxury of doing shit during the day. I got to be the grown-up and fucking work.
We both do.
I haven't fucking done anything for weeks.
Reading words that kids is work.
Oh boy, Corey, why don't you go ahead and wrap this one on up? It's about to get ugly up in here.
Before domestic violence breaks out. This has been Cascadia Hockey, brought to you by Buried Puck Threads. We will be back next week. Don't forget to check out Garagerama on the Buried Puck Network. What else do we have going? We don't have anything else to do. So, Kyle, thank Christ for not having anything to do, because I'm glad to have you back on here on a regular basis.
Oh, sorry, I was playing with the toys. Yeah, it's been great because when I'm not with you guys, I cry a lot. But no, it's
a cry for help, though.
I just sit in a puddle and cry.
I think it was like a solid 3 months where I didn't have a Tuesday off. There would be a week where I had 3 days of work, and I would work on the fucking Tuesday. So somehow they're like, we have all week to do maintenance, but you're Tuesday.
It's got to be Tuesday.
It's like I have another thing. But,
well, now you got lots of free Tuesdays.
I do. I've had a lot of free everything. So now I get to sit at home and try to push out half entertainable content. So that's
there we go.
I like it.
There we go.
I'm loving all the live streams and stuff that people are doing and experimenting with that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Hopefully this was pretty fun for everyone to listen to and watch during these interesting times.
Your solo cup is making me jealous, Derek.
You know it's booze.
I just got stupid water. Remember last week though? Yeah. He says it's too early. Oh, it's almost 11. It's good to go now.
Anyway.
Yeah, we're fine. Here you go. Atta baby.
Bring it on home.
There we go. Okay, Derek, man, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Peace, love, abide.
That's right. HP Livecraft, Laughcraft, Lovecraft. Aaron and Anya for hosting all this crazy nonsense. I have been Corey Gaston, and this has been Cascadia Hockey.
Join us on Facebook, Cascadia Hockey Club.
And on the count of 3, a 1, a 2, a 3.
Ferda! Balls a tug, you tit fucker.
Find your way. Sometimes art is just art for art's sake. It's not a safe space to crack. It's not a lock to break. But when it is, and you laws for a reason. Don't expect the warden just to hand out the key. You can steal things when you exit through the gift shop. That's where the property owner sings subliminal messages to sell novelty decoder rings. That's graffiti. No, that's a painting. Nah, that's an ecological phenomenon. The ball is whirling. Natural laws are breaking. Nah, that's